Before my presentation of Ulyanovsk region, let me share the greeting video of the head of the foundation Ulyanovsk, the capital of culture, Tatiana Ivshina.
Добрый день. Я приветствую всех участников первого международного фестиваля культурных форм самовыражения со всего мира «Мир во Флоренции». Передаю вам большой привет от Ульяновска, креативного города ЮНЕСКО. Я очень рада тому, что мы стали частью вашей большой семьи. Я благодарю организаторов за приглашение в фонд Ромуальдо Дель Бьянко. Для нас это большая честь представлять культурные особенности Ульяновска на таком масштабном мероприятии.
It was Russian language, the official language of our big country. So our beautiful city of Simbirsk was founded in 1648. And in 1922, it was renamed Ulyanovsk in honor of Vladimir Ulyanov, Lenin, who was born here. It is located in the European part of Russia, 890 kilometers southeast of Moscow, on the two banks of the longest river in Europe, the Volga. The population of the city is 625,000 people. The population of the Ulyanovsk region is more than 1.2 million people. Today, it is a city of contrasts with its ancient wooden buildings of the 19th century and modern residential complexes. It is a museum city telling about Tsarist and Soviet Russia and the Russian Silicon Valley. It is the birthplace of such opposites as Alexander Kerensky and Vladimir Lenin, the leaders of the February and October revolutions. Ulyanovsk is a city where two rivers, the Volga and Sviaga, flowing in the opposite directions, form the interfluve, a territory unique in its energy. If desired, you can walk from the center of Ulyanovsk almost to the very outskirts of the city. The only inconvenience may be windy weather, which is not uncommon here, because Ulyanovsk is called the city of seven winds for a reason. However, this phenomenon has its undeniable plus. Despite the fact that the industry is quite developed, the air, even in the city center, is always clean. It is because of this feature of our city that the first wind farm in Russia was built in Ulyanovsk in 2018. The second one was launched in 2019. Today, in a cloudless weather, 28 windmills can be seen from the other bank on the river. In addition to wind energy, the region is also building up competencies in solar and hydrogen energy, microgeneration, and energy storage issues. A walk along the embankment as well as a river walk will allow you to appreciate the expanse and grandeur of Russian Volga River and admire panoramas, including the legendary railway Imperial Bridge, built in 1913 under Emperor Nicholas II, and also the modern Presidential Bridge, one of the longest bridges in Europe, the third longest bridge in Russia. The Embankment Boulevard is the location of a number of interesting historical buildings and monuments, such as a monument to the letter Yo, created by Nikolai Karamzin, a famous Russian historian, author of the History of Russian State, who was born also in Ulyanovsk. Ulyanovsk can definitely be called a museum city. The State Historical and Memorial Museum Reserve, the birthplace of Vladimir Lenin, is a unique urban landscape complex occupying 174 hectares in the central part of the city and combining within its borders the historical, architectural, and memorial monuments of Simbirsk, Ulyanovsk. Currently, 17 museums are located on the territory of this open-air museum. A part of the museum reserve, the museum Simbirsk Classic Gymnasia, is the only museum in Russia that completely reproduces the atmosphere of the Russian classic gymnasia of the second half of the 19th century. The exposition includes authentic materials, including the globe of the starry sky, the hemisphere map dated by 18 41 and educational instruments. Lenin Memorial, representing the authentic heritage that retells the history of our country in the 20th century, will impress you with its scale. In 2015, Ulyanovsk was the first Russian city to receive the status of the UNESCO City of Literature. The literary map of modern Ulyanovsk has more than 40 streets and alleys bearing the names of writers, poets, and literary critics. The city is the birthplace of such famous Russian writers as Ivan Goncharov, Nikolai Karamzin, Nikolai Языков, etc. Ivan Goncharov is perhaps the brightest personality of the entire constellation of famous citizens of Simbirsk. Every school child is familiar with his works, which have become masterpieces of Russian classical literature. Oblomov, The Ordinary History, The Cliff. Lazy Oblomov is one of the most popular characters of Russian literature among the young people of the world. The Ulyanovsk region is a land of unique natural diversity. Here, you can take a trip to the geopark Undoria, an amazing paleontological world with a unique nature frozen in time many thousand years ago. On its territory, you can get acquainted with the remains of aquatic dinosaurs and ammonites. At the end of this September, the skeletons of two unknown before species of ichthyosaurs were discovered. This year, the Undoria Geopark has applied to join the UNESCO Global Geoparks Network. The Ulyanovsk region is the only place on the planet where the rare gemstone Simbursite was discovered. Even a monument to Simbursite was erected in Ulyanovsk since it got its name from the old name of Ulyanovsk, Simbirsk. It is not very expensive, classified as ornamental, but Simbursite looks unordinary, and its bright color and rich pattern attract attention. Another place in Ulyanovsk region where paleontological remains of ancient creatures have been preserved is the Singeli Mountains National Park. Tens of millions of years ago, the Singeli Mountains were born in the depths of the ancient sea. Under the influence of the internal forces of the earth, they eventually rose and carried out for fossilized remains of their former inhabitants on their slopes. Riding there, you can contemplate the incredible beauty of the landscapes of highly terrain with chalk deposits. There is a unique natural stone garden, Skripinski Kuchuri, in the Ulyanovsk region. The total area of the territory is more than 200 hectares. There are many legends around the Skripinski Kuchuri, and on the bizarre stones, ufologists found notches corresponding to the map of the universe. On the territory of the Ulyanovsk region, an amazingly beautiful and rare plant has been preserved, a narrow-leaved peony. It's listed in the Red Book of Russia. You can see the flowering of a wild peony only a few days ago in the middle of May. Ulyanovsk is a major international transport hub. It is located at the intersection of aviation, railway, and automobile communications in all directions of Russia, as well as international airlines connecting the Volga region with Europe, Central Asia, the Middle East, and China. Ulyanovsk is also the aviation capital of Russia, where the aviation cluster is located. Russia's largest scientific and educational aviation center and Russia's largest enterprise for the production of aviation equipment, Aviastar SP, are located here. The aviation cluster also includes the Museum of History of Civil Aviation, a unique open-air complex with an area of 18 hectares whose exposition has more than 9,000 exhibits. Since 2020, the Project Office of International Youth Cooperation Russia, BRICS, has been operating on the basis of our foundation, Ulyanovsk Capital of Culture. Since the beginning of its works, we have held such significant events as International Youth BRICS Summit, International Youth Forum on Public Diplomacy, International BRICS Youth Camp, Russian-Chinese Youth Forum Volga Yanzi. Today, there are about 200 IT companies operating in the Ulyanovsk region, at least 50 of which have serious weight at the global level. In the near future, the creation and launch of the International BRICS IT Valley is planned on the territory of the Ulyanovsk region. Furniture manufacturing, farming, and other traditional business spheres are also well developed. The Balalaika Museum is the first and the only balalaika museum in Russia. It exhibits a unique collection of the rarest instruments of the 19th, 20th centuries there. The history of balalaika crafts in Russia, the study of the culture of Russian instrumental performance, the search and recording the samples of traditional instrumental music, all this can be found there. The gastronomic highlights of the Ulyanovsk land can be called dishes of Volga cuisine, stuffed Volga fish, and traditional pancakes. The local mineral water with a high content of organic substances, which has unique healing properties, is also a unique feature of our region. All the facts listed above and many other interesting sites will certainly surprise you in our city of Ulyanovsk. So welcome to Ulyanovsk, and now let me share the video that we made special for you. It illustrates the uniqueness of our region, Ulyanovsk region. Just a moment. It's about 2 minutes. So, dear participants and dear Mr. Simoni, thank you for your partnership and your attention. Thank you.